Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragne Sinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, the creator of Coral Desk, the coach of the Changemakers, and co-author for the book From Zero to Success. My mission is to empower through the education. And I want to thank you today that you took the time to be here. You invested the time in your well-being and in your personal growth. Congratulations. Today, I have the honor to talk with Teresa Wright Johnson. She is a best-selling author, trainer, speaker, and advocate. She is the owner of multiple businesses, including DWJME Enterprises, Mom Best Boss, and Zaras Song. Without any further ado, Teresa, you have the honor to be here the second time with all our audience. And last time we agreed that we're going to talk about also in a very specific way, as this is the Mental Health Diversity Month, then we will spend a little time on that. But we will talk about much more, obviously. So let's recap. Who is Teresa? And then we see it from there.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And I love how you say Teresa. I love it. You know, I like when people change my names because it's different. Teresa, Teresita, Teresa, I love it. So I am, first, I'm a mom. And so I consider moms multiple operational managers because you do a lot every day if you're a mom. And I am a speaker that takes my lived experience and helps others through lived experience, whether it be a struggle or strength. My business, TWJE Enterprises, is Teresa Wright Johnson Multiple Enterprises, because I know that I'm an enterprise, and I feel we're all an enterprise with information, value, success, and struggles that we can monetize or help other people with. So I do a madrid of things. One, I do have my businesses and I help moms that are business owners, but I also help moms that have challenges with children that have mental health challenges, as well as special needs. And so I have a different businesses, one, you know, for monetizing to make money. They're wealth-based businesses. And then those heart-based things that we do to help others. So that's me in a nutshell.
Beautiful. I like how confident you are when you talk about everything that you do. And lately, that's not the case. A lot of people really need to stop, think, and really think what they're doing. So this is beautiful to see that you have such clarity and you have such order in the way that you bring it on to the world. So congratulations on that. Let's talk a little about your passion and the purpose in life, because I know on top of those things you are also very active on helping the community in your area. So what would you say your passion and the purpose in life is?
My passion and purpose in life is being a live life expert and realizing that our struggles are not our struggles. Those struggles actually can be strengths later on to help other people. And so for me, my passion is I've had challenges in people in my family that experience mental health. I've had a child that has had a developmental disability. I understand what it is like to have and to have not. And so I take all of that and I would say I'm resilient because of it, but at the same time, I could just, you know, move and push past those things and say, I'm done with that. I'm through with that. That's not a part of my life I need to worry about. Nobody needs to hear that story. But instead, I've decided that we all have a story and we all can help each other. And by sharing my story and getting additional training, exposure, and understanding of some of the things I've been through, which do include having a child with special needs, having a child that experiences a mental health challenge, and even being a domestic violence victim, I can take those things and make them heart-based and help other people through my story and hopefully teach them how to do the same thing, because then we're more of a community if we are able to help each other.
That's a beautiful answer. Thank you. And I think this is very inspiring and motivational, because I think there's a lot of people who have the pain in their life and mostly it's caused by their previous experiences and being victim in some type of assault or whatever the circumstance was. But your story, again, as you said, every story counts. Every story is unique, and you can choose whether you help with your story the others, or you just stay there as a victim. So beautiful. We're talking about the uniqueness, and what would you say, how do you distinguish yourself in your private life and also in business?
So I really, one of the things that's kind of interesting is like when I talk about being a mom, being a multiple operational manager, I believe that motherhood is just like a business. You have to do all the same things. You have to budget. You have to get the children around. So I really believe, depending on you, my business and my life, they go very much together. But I learned how to integrate it and balance it. Just like a few minutes ago when you said, hey, it sounds good that you know how to put all those things together now. They work together. That was a lot of practice, understanding that. It's a lot of practice too, being business owners or advocates or helpers, knowing how to balance the two. Because at one point in my life, because I like helping people, I was helping everybody. And my spouse then used to say, your people are calling. I mean, my phone was ringing all the time. People were always calling. And in particular, as women, we are like doers, helpers, volunteers, all that stuff. You have to learn the balance of it. So with my life, I enjoy my business, what I do, but with my life, I also try to make sure that I'm carving out some time and balancing time for like my spouse, my children, and guess what? In particular, myself, because I'm helping so many people. It is no way I can listen to mental health challenges at various places that I work at, childhood, parenting stuff, give resources, and then kind of forget about myself. So one, I take care of myself, and two, I figure out how to balance in the life I have with my family.
We we have been talking about challenges a lot, and I think my audience has had many people who have been talking about the challenges in the business and challenges in the private life. I think you bring a very unique value today to the table, and that's something that. What are the challenges that the parents of mentally kids with mental health disabilities have, like what is it really like, or what is the, what do you see what is happening now, especially as we are locked in, or we were locked in quite some time now, and we know that even in a quite balanced and peaceful setting, it was challenging. I can only imagine where there's some more to it. So can you just walk us through what's that? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents gonna get that also are in that circumstances and can relate to.
Okay, so I'll answer that on two instances. One, mental health. The individuals, the children that do have a mental health diagnosis, I'll answer that question. But two, just the typical child dealing with this whole new world that we're dealing with due to sickness and racial injustices and all that great stuff, unfortunately. So one, a typical child that has a diagnosis, maybe they experience ADHD or maybe oppositional defiance or some type of disorder where they need to be active, they need to be out, they need structure and organization. This is causing havoc on a lot of those children because they don't have that same structure and organization that they're used to. They may not be able to go outside and run off some of that energy. And now, in a minute, I know I'm here in the US, and even my daughter's school system today announced that it's going to be total virtual school. Some parents are pushing for that, like me. But I have the training and the structure that I can create to help support my children. But many parents do not. And perhaps their child is experiencing a hard time understanding too, because some children, they may be mentally and cognitively not aware of understanding. No, you can't go outside and play with Tommy or Timmy. So for instance, I had a friend that I spoke with recently, and she said, no, it cannot be virtual school. I cannot do that with my child. My child will not sit in front of a laptop or computer. And guess who's going to have to deal with the brunt of his meltdowns or his behavioral challenges? The parent. And so parents are feeling overwhelmed, some of them that have children that have different issues in regards to mental health challenges, because the supports nor the structure is there for them to successfully help those children. And those children are feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And unfortunately, because they have a mental health challenge, which, some people still like, oh, well, they don't understand mental health and physical health are so much the same thing. So the kids, because of their brains working differently, they are struggling as well. So parents are overwhelmed because they don't have that space. They don't have the break of sending their child to school. They may not be able to send their child to camp. They have to explain to their child what's going on in the world in regards to sickness and, the virus, and then social injustices. And what about children that parents have had to totally pivot or change, because now we're living in a world, especially here in the USA, where so many people are unemployed or underemployed now. So they may also have to transition on what their lifestyle looks like, money, finances, housing. So parents are dealing with all of that as an adult personally, and now it trickles down to the child and it comes back to them. And so parents are dealing with an extreme amount of stress. A lot of parents are dealing with isolation, because now I can't go see Sarah and have my cup of coffee I have, generally at the coffee shop or whatever while they're at school. Or I can't even go to the playground and let them play and enjoy a breeze of air while they play and let them play because of this. So parents are experiencing stress, anxiety, isolation, and challenges that they never thought about before. And quite honestly, many parents never have and probably never will spend this amount of time with their child at all.
You are correct. I'm pretty sure that that's the case as well. But you mentioned that you have the structure and you have figured out for yourself. Is there something that we can give to our audience out of that, how they can prepare better to face those challenges?
Well, I think that two answers to that. Just like that child that has a mental health challenge, a so-called typical child is going to probably have those same challenges. Getting, getting restless, tired of being in. If you have an older child, like I have a teenager, she wants to be with her friends at this point, right? So the way that parents would need to deal with it, like when I'm working with parents, as a parent specialist, is I talk to them about finding their tribe. Just like you have your followers and your listeners of your wonderful talk show here, people need to find their tribe. If you're a parent right now, you want to do some investing on researching childhood development based on who your child is, where they are. If they are a typical child, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, where should they be? So that you can understand, because now you've become like their teaching coach, their PE coach, the cooking class, the music teacher, math teacher. So do some research. And then if you have a child that has a special need or additional mental health challenges, or maybe they're just feeling anxiety, because how many of us have felt anxiety or fearfulness while this happens? Just find some organizations that understand. So for instance, one of the organizations, my organization Zaras Song is with, is the National Federation of Families for Children's Mental Health. I don't care where you are in the world. Even I found so much information, especially like in Australia and different parts of the world, where they have great mental health resources. Get on that computer. Don't just, play around on the computer. Do the research you need to do for the supports for your child. So number one, find your tribe. Secondly, do some research so that you can get information that you may need to be more of a support to your child, but also a support to you. Do some research about some other parents that are going through this so you can be stronger and more organized and prepared. As well as maybe if you're homeschooling or virtual schooling, find some experts in that as well.
That's a great advice. So I think whoever you're listening, actually grab a pen and a paper and start to write things down, because we are so addicted to the distractions, and the next moment that great idea, that great advice is going to be gone. So go, take the pen, take the pencil, take the paper, take the pencil, and start to write things down. Teresa, when we last talked, you were actually in the middle of an full action. You were delivering food packages to the families in need. So tell us more. What were the projects that you are and were involved now during the COVID-19?
So one project that I'm involved with is for our organization Zaras Song and Mom Biz Boss. We have an event coming up called Back to School Yet at Home. And we're talking about, yeah, back to school is totally different now. You're going to be at home, and we have all these wonderful experts nationwide, and perhaps we can get some experts from some other countries here
Yes.
to come and talk about that, right? So that's one. We have that coming up, I think August the 8th. But when I was talking to you, I have been working since then and before then and now tirelessly to provide resources to parents that might just be at home with their children more. And one thing we know about children, especially teenagers, they will eat you out of house and home. They like to munch and crunch. So when I remember that day, because I forgot all about that, I was delivering that stuff. But what I do is I partner up families with other resources or individuals or outlets that deliver food. At that time, I had went to pick up food at a resource for a family because they didn't have cars. So families that didn't have cars, I was dropping them off. And I work for where I am located. I also work with one of our providers. I'm their parent peer specialist. And at that time, I was cool with delivering stuff, but I am in the state of Georgia and the numbers of COVID have gone up tremendously. So I am no longer delivering. So I've partnered them up with different resources. One of the things that I am also working on is getting more support for families that have maybe smaller children for things such as diapers, just diapers. And lastly, a lot of training. I've been able to work with different organizations over the last few months as a parent trainer and coming to talk about things like, what do you do with your child during the summer while you're stuck at home on lockdown? And we also have been talking about special needs, advocacy, and how to find those things. And then just a lot on self-care for parents. Like, how do you find your outlet when you're stuck in the house with the kids? And so we've been doing so many different things. And then on the other end, on my wealth-based side, I've been doing a lot of networking events and training for my mom biz bosses on how to survive during this time of crisis, which is actually a time of opportunity as well.
Yeah, beautiful. We've mentioned previously the nonprofit, which is I hope I pronounced the name correctly, Zaras Song. So what is the story behind the nonprofit? It's a very interesting name for a nonprofit. And when I actually looked at their page, then I would never put the name together with what they're actually doing. So tell us more about that.
Okay, so Zaria Song is our family-run organization that is in honor of my daughter Zaria Lassiter, that was born with multiple disabilities. And I was told that she would never eat, walk, or talk. And she did them all. She actually modeled for different agencies and organizations. She did a lot of great things. But unfortunately, she had a seizure at school many years ago. And they did not know she was having a seizure, though they had it on record that she had, seizure disorder. And by the time the EMT got there, unfortunately, Zaria was brain dead. And for me, that was another struggle that was very hard. But I have taken that to help other families. So I've been able to help our families advocate for children's special needs through Zaria Song and get seizure plans set up through Zaria Song and more.
Is there any other projects that you are involved? I know that the list is already very long, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's coming. And by the way, I'm involved with that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us, or any project that you are actually involved
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of projects that I want to share. At this time, the main things that I want to share is like I'm always looking for more ways to support families and connect to families that have children that have physical or developmental disabilities or mental health diagnoses to help them through Zaras Song. And then if you're a mom out there and you have a business, I would love for you to connect with us at Mom Biz Boss, because we are an organization that focuses on motherhood being a business, not taking the nurturing part away, but understanding that they both work hand in hand. We also focus on social awareness and, of course, parenting. So we're working on a lot of different events, like the one I told you about earlier for August the 8th, called Back to School Yeah at Home. And then we just do different things as an organization and helping mothers and parents. And you don't have to be a mother. I have a few moms or mom biz bosses that are dog mothers. They just support the mission, or they have a product or service that supports mothers or children.
So what could you say what the future will bring Teresa personally and professionally?
Personally, I've been working, especially in this time, I'm sorry, professionally, especially in this time, because so many parents need assistance. I've been professionally working more and more on doing my mental health first aid trainings. So when I talk about having lived experience, I really do have lived experience, but I also am a certified life coach and a certified mental health instructor and certified parent trainer. So I am doing a lot of trainings for different organizations and companies and individuals that need help with parenting. That's what I'm going to be working on mostly for business, as well as speaking at different places about business or parenting or mental health. But I have a real passion in this time to talk to parents, because this is an unprecedented time where parents have never had to do this before. I know it because I feel it myself. And if I can feel it with all the training I have and have my difficulties, I know other parents are having difficulties too. So that's definitely one of the things I see for business. The other thing I see is helping more families with Zaras Song. And then personally and business-wise, I'm working on some other ideas. Since you're talking about projects, I'm working on some other ideas. I have done several book collaborations before, so I'm working on doing and finding women that want to collaborate about being a mother and being in business, or being a mother of a child with a special need or mental health diagnosis.
Beautiful. Um, let's say what recommendations are you going to give us this time? So what would be your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade?
My 3 recommendations on how to dominate the decade now will be: number 1, get yourself prepared. Get yourself prepared with the services and the resources you need to live and survive now in the world we're in for your family and your children. I did fail to mention I also am with Legal Shield. You're right, I got 100 projects, but I'm with Legal Shield. And the more and more I talk to families, I don't care where you are in the world, make sure you're getting your insurances, your wills, your trust, all that together. Get that stuff together, because you don't know if you have it tomorrow, and you don't know what's out there tomorrow. And if you're a person that wants to go into business, this is a perfect opportunity to take that crisis and turn it into that opportunity and find some new things, or dig within yourself, because you have everything you need to be successful. We were all born with an innate possibility of being successful. We all have gifts and talents. And number 3 is just be grateful. Have gratitude. Any of us that are watching this right now, we're living, we're breathing, we're aspiring to do more with our lives just by watching this to dominate the decade. So be prepared, right? Be grateful, and then make sure you are doing whatever you need to do to take this crisis to also make it an opportunity.
So if someone wants to follow you or contact you, how can they do so?
If they would like to follow me, the best place to follow me would be either on Facebook or Instagram at TWJME, TWJME, or Mom Biz Boss. And they can go over to either of our websites at twjme.com or mombizboss.org.
So if there is one message that you want to tell to our audience and to take from this interview, what that would be?
My one message is that we're all live life experts. We've been through struggles and strengths, trials, tribulations that we can help ourselves or help other people with, whether that means a business, service, ministry, or product, or maybe just helping the next person that needs help that you're able to assist.
Well, as you see, Teresa has answers to everything. So she's absolutely killing it. So I hope that you did take the notes. If you didn't, you need to go back to this video. You need to literally do this. Write down. There's a lot of golden nuggets here. And not only write down, but also take action. It's because nothing works if you don't put the work into it. And you can become the hero of your life and someone else's life. How? By taking action. So share this video. Be the hero also in someone else's life. And I will see you in our next episodes. Teresa, thank you from the bottom of the heart. We'll be looking forward for the 8th of August for your event. And we will, if with your permission, we would love to share it also on the Dominate the Decade website. So we're here to serve and help. So consider it if this is something that aligns with you, obviously. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.